What's going on, guys? For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ty, and today in this video, I'm going to be ranking every single Phase 5 MCU film. Phase 5, believe it or not, is actually over. I'm not going to lie, I only found this out like a week ago on Twitter. I feel like MCU has been a bit looser with the phases as of recently because it doesn't matter as much anymore. But either way, we're in the multiverse saga, and we just capped off another phase. Was it good? Was it bad? What was the best? What was the worst film? That's what I want to dive into here today. So listen, as you guys can see on screen here, we've got 6 different movies. Again, starting off with Ant-Man Quantumania, which started off Phase 5, and ending with Thunderbolts, which I just got to watch last night. Some of these movies I've seen a couple of times, some I've only seen once, quite honestly, so there's some variation there, but either way, I've seen all these films, so I'm very excited to talk about them. We've got 3 tiers. Since there's 6 movies, I figured, you know what, we're just going to split these into thirds, so no matter what, I'm going to be putting 2 movies into each of these categories. The upper third, these are just like the best films that I feel came out of this phase. The middle third, the ones that I guess are fine, or maybe some of them are good, but again, like I said, no matter what, I'm only putting 2 movies into each of these categories, so they gotta fall somewhere. And then the lower third out of the 6 films. So yeah, these were just like the worst films. Some might be worse than others. Listen, if you guys like this video, please be sure to drop a like, and also please subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I'm so close to 2,000 subscribers. I make MCU content and movie content all the time, so yeah, let's just dive right into this list in release order. Kicking these off here with Ant-Man Quantumania back in February 2023. I remember being so excited for this. I was hyping it up. It's going to be a new era. I think that this isn't just the worst movie in Phase 5. I think this is the worst movie in the entire MCU. Out of all 36 films, it's now 36 after Thunderbolts, I think this is literally the worst movie. At the very bottom, the worst film they've ever made. I don't know what they were doing here. It's such a massive misfire on multiple levels. And just to be clear, it's not just because of like the Jonathan Major situation, because that was just such an outlier. He's the best part of this movie, I'd say, like Kang and his character and his performance. But from there, man, this story is just so boring. I feel like the quantum realm wasn't like actually capitalized on. You've got Ant-Man's daughter, Cassie, who might be my least favorite MCU character, just preaching to her dad about how even though he saved the world, he doesn't have to talk about it all the time. It's so unbelievably insufferable, this film, just from start to finish. And the problem is, and this is really what bothers me the most, it's the untapped potential Quantumania Kang. There was so much they could have done, and they completely wasted it. I still believe that Ant-Man should have like died in this movie to set up some stakes, but no, Ant-Man beats Kang in this movie. MODOK, don't even get me started on, and again, the plot is just really stupid. Why didn't Janet, the mom, tell them about the quantum realm and Kang? Who knows? Who knows? This is the worst film in the MCU. With that being said, just a couple of months later, we got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This is easily going in the upper third. Is it the best film of this phase? You'll have to wait and see. We'll talk about it in a minute, but I think it easily deserves a spot in that upper third. I love this film. This is easily top 10 MCU for me. I mean, without a doubt, maybe top 9, top 8, somewhere in there, but either way, James Gunn just got to cap off his trilogy, and I think that he did the best job that he could have with this film, especially because you're focusing on a Rocket while still diving into the individual characters. Just so great. I love the story overall. The High Evolutionary is such a thrilling villain to follow, and I love all the little intricate details of the story with how Rocket had like these friends, like the other little animals, like Teefs and Floor and stuff, who have pretty silly names. And it's funny how James Gunn got me to borderline cry, well, I'm saying borderline, wink wink, borderline cry over a CGI raccoon, Rocket Raccoon, which he says in the end. It's so cool. Really love this movie. My only problem with this film, and I know people are not going to like what I'm about to say, I kind of wish someone died just to establish some stakes, because I feel like everyone was like, oh my god, multiple people are going to die in here, and no one ended up dying, which is okay. It's not really that big of a deal, but I feel like the fake out death with Star-Lord, I'm still not really the biggest fan of, even though he's one of my favorite MCU characters. Next up is going to be the Marvels. Honestly, I bet some of you are going to think I'm going to put it in the lower third, but I'm just going to put it in the middle. I think it's a perfectly passable / below average MCU film. The biggest problem with this movie is that I never think about it ever. I've only seen it once when it came out, and I haven't even really thought about it that much since then. I just don't think it's that good. I feel like it wasn't set up well with Secret Invasion and stuff, and even just, Miss Marvel, the show, I kind of liked. And I think that Miss Marvel is the best part of this film. However, I think the story just falls apart when you've got the villain, Dar-Ben, who I'd argue is the most forgettable villain, even though I know her name, but it's almost like an oxymoron, because I know her name because of how forgettable she actually is. I just feel like this was just such a weird plot, too, about how she was trying to, like, save her own world, by taking like the Earth's sun, I believe, and the Earth's water and stuff. But how would that work out logistically? I don't know, you know, maybe the writers are better than me, but all the flirk and stuff at the end too, I think was a bit silly. Like, I had a fun time with this movie, I guess. Like, it wasn't a bore to sit through. It was entertaining. I liked the little quips between our main trio, but it just wasn't really that memorable, and I can understand why a lot of people would hate this movie. I don't understand why a lot of people would like this movie, but I don't see anyone really loving this film at the end of the day. I think it's a fine film. Next up is going to be Deadpool and Wolverine. A lot of people are not going to like what I'm about to do with this film. I'm going to put it above the Marvels comfortably, but it's going to be going in the middle third because I have another spot up there that I need to be saving for another film that we're going to be talking about in a minute. Deadpool and Wolverine, right? I feel like it's almost a controversial movie because of the fact that it was so hyped, it made a lot of money, it was so fun, it was an event film, it was like a Barbenheimer type of movie. My problem is, I was so excited for this movie, right? You guys can check my channel, the amount of videos I made on that movie. I don't think I've made more videos on one singular topic than Deadpool and Wolverine. Like, that's like easily the thing that I've made the most videos about, at least when it comes to a single movie, because the MCU is for sure the number one topic as a whole. But that's off topic. That's another topic. I feel like this film, it was pretty funny. It did a good job at that. It was pretty gory. It was a fun time. It capitalized on the cameos and stuff. But one thing that I just really can't overlook, and it's just a personal thing, even though I feel like everyone should be able to see this, I just don't think the story was that good. The stuff with the Time Ripper and the TVA and the anchor beings being introduced, I feel like it's something they introduced that really doesn't make sense and that really wasn't explained thoroughly enough, because it's extremely easy to just poke holes in all these concepts that they're talking about. I like that the TVA was introduced. That's really cool. I like that we're doing multiverse hopping and all that, but I just don't know if it really was the best story ever. All the stuff with the new Wolverine's background about how he let everyone down, I feel like his backstory doesn't really even make that much sense when you think about it for more than 5 seconds. I'd have to rewatch the movie. I can't really explain all the little details right now, but I remember just thinking, damn, this just kind of doesn't really make that much sense when you look into the story. From there, some of the CGI is a bit wonky, and listen, I like this movie, okay? Let me make that very clear. It's very fun, and I can understand why you'd give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars on my first watch. I rewatched it, I gave it 3.5, and I'm afraid if I rewatch it again, I'm going to give it 3. But either way, it's still an enjoyable film. There's definitely a gap between Deadpool and Wolverine and the Marvels, but they're just going to go in that middle third. Next up is going to be Captain America Brave New World. Out of all the films on this list, I could say Deadpool and Wolverine technically, but I had a good time with it. I think this hurts me the most to be putting in the lower tier. I'm going to be putting it above Ant-Man Quantumania. This movie, from a craftsmanship standpoint, just pure filmmaking standpoint, is really rough. Like, one of the worst looking and worst crafted films in the MCU. The CGI is really bad. The action at times is super inconsistent. It's edited poorly. There's just like this fake feeling to it, and I feel like when people think of the MCU formula and how MCU movies look ugly, they look at this movie and be like, this is a prime example, and I understand why they'd say that. The story overall, it's fine. I'm not a big Hulk guy as it is, I'll admit that. Like, I was never even really a fan of like Bruce Banner and stuff. That's just my own personal preference. But this is the thing. I feel like Sam Wilson, Captain America, he's such a great character, and he was just wasted in this. I'm not even like one of these people that just dislike Sam for no reason. I like that he's Captain America. I like his character. I loved him as Falcon. But I've got to say, I just feel like, again, wasted potential. They're trying to do too much in here, and it sucks because there was a lot of potential in here, because this could have been like another Winter Soldier. Not that you needed to copy it, but just with the fact that, you know, you can't trust anybody. There's people pulling the strings behind the scenes, and the leader just sucks as a villain with his probabilities and stuff. Not that this really matters. This would never actually affect my rating of a film, but this movie also might have like one of the worst post-credit scenes that is just so stupid and pointless. But yeah, I think that just overall, it's just really not that good. And in case you can't tell, I liked the Thunderbolts. This might be a hot take, okay? Because I am a James Gunn defender. I'm a James Gunn ride or die. Right now, I actually think that Thunderbolts might be my favorite movie of Phase 5. I'm going back and forth in my head, and keep in mind, I just saw the movie like practically 15, 16 hours ago from when I'm recording this. It might be my favorite movie of Phase 5 because of the fact that Guardians as much as I love Guardians, there's still just like a couple of small things that bother me with it. I just haven't really had like the time to sit on Thunderbolts and think about what I don't really like about it. Like, yes, I made my review, I have thought about certain things, but they don't really bother me. I just keep thinking about how much I love what they did with this movie. This ragtag group that actually is kind of similar to the Guardians of the Galaxy, just the fact that they're more grounded than in space. They're all a bunch of losers, they're like these assassins. They have some similar powers and some different powers, but the thing is, at the end of the day, they're just characters that you care about and that you learn to care about because of how tragic all of their backstories are, pretty much. And I think this film did such a great job at delivering a cool story, almost in like a Captain America Brave New World way, where someone is like pulling the strings behind the scenes, Val, of course, whose character I feel like really got developed in here. We got to see a little bit of her backstory, we got to see what her plan is, and I love the way, I'm just saying, that this movie ends off for everyone, for Val, for the team, for just the future of the MCU. And I don't care about the future. I'm not gonna like raise the rating of the movie just because of how well it sets things up. I feel like that's kind of stupid. But as an individual film, the way it dove into like mental health and Sentry and the Void, phenomenal MCU villain, especially because MCU, I feel like the MCU as a whole, its weakest link is its villains, like from top to bottom. Yes, we have the Thanoses, but there's not that many Thanoses and Lokis. So at this point in time, and I know it might be a bit of a hot take, it's a bit of an overreaction with recency bias, I'm going to be putting Thunderbolts at the top of Phase 5. And that's going to just about do it for this list. Let me know what your ranking would be because it's only 6 films. Let me know what your overall rating would be for Phase 5 as a whole. Honestly, it's not the greatest. I feel like these two are the only ones that I think are really great, and then from there, it just kind of goes downhill. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.